Yeah, I'll be in Switzerland in 2 days. I need seven housekeepers, I need three butlers, and five spa therapists. And it's also important to consider that the more he fails, the faster they will find success.
Hello, everybody. My name is Arham, and I welcome you in another exciting episode of the Business Narrative. Today, we are joined by Mohamad Al Sayed. He is Chief Operating Officer and co-founder of Aleydis Prestige, and his company provide high-end royal services to elite families. So today, we will going to discuss how he runs this business and how he target his clients and like what are the main secrets to get success in this particular niche. So Mohammed, thank you so much for your precious time.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
As far I know, Mohammed, you started your journey as an pharmaceutical scientist, right? You have done doctorate in pharmaceutical science, but you transit towards this particular niche and you became an entrepreneur. Like, so how this transition happened?
As you mentioned in the background, I'm a scientist. I studied biology back in the days, and I did my PhD. And then naturally, I worked in pharmaceutical companies until a certain time when I started to feel that I need something more. I need to create my own project that developed later to business. And basically, what I wanted to provide is an authentic service that is differentiated from all other services by really personalizing and listening to the clients, listening to their needs, to their culture, etc. And in our industry, it is very important to be or to have a certain amount of emotional intelligence, because we are dealing with clients that they are very demanding, and if you want, they've seen it all. So you really have to put yourself in your shoes, be discreet, be confidential, and listen what they want.
People like me, they usually think that scientists they cannot be a good entrepreneur, but this is not a reality. So like I want to know how research skills, scientific research skills help you to be a good entrepreneur, because skills they always help you in any particular field. If we see many people in the past, they were scientists, but they became an entrepreneur later or sooner. So like how these research scientific skills help you as an entrepreneur.
Like, I would say that normally people would think that scientists wouldn't be good businessmen or women. I would say yes. It's not something that is, the structure of the brain probably is different, because as a scientist you're very structured. You have low risks. You don't take lots of risks. Everything is calculated with you research, you do a result, etc. But it happens that sometimes a person who has a scientific knowledge and was in the scientific industry, that part of them have entrepreneurial spirit. So scientists could have entrepreneurial skills and spirit, but not all of them. But what the science background brought me as a skill is the learning and asking the right question. Because when I did my PhD, somehow in order to go into science, you need to research something and you have zero information about it. So you have to learn by doing, and it's like trying and failing. And this skill of being resilient and knowing where to look and what question to ask, I think this is very important in an entrepreneur life. Because when you start your business, you're starting it for the first time. You don't know what to do. You have to learn what you do. It's in every business like that. And me as a scientist back in the days, I feel comfortable with this lack of information. So I know where to look, I know what to ask and to whom to ask it.
So, how do you market effectively to ultra wealthy private clients? Because, as far I know, in this particular business, you get clients on the basis of networking, right? So, same in your case as well.
In our industry, which is considered as luxury industry with private clients, it's often starting by word of the mouth and the network that we have. This is like the base of starting, and then the network grows. But then it's imperative as a business, you have also to do the exercise of promoting through digital and other traditional marketing channels. But you cannot go classical marketing by really having a huge budget to go, in magazines and like street banners, etc. Because the reach that we are aiming is a very small percentage of the population, right? Because high end clients normally in the population, it's, I don't know, 1 to 5%. And so there is strategies that we developed in order to reach these people, but mostly it's through the word of the mouth and network.
So, what is the one unusual request you have filled to your client and you have provided your services at the middle of night as well?
Most impossible, like it's mostly when we get requests like very last minute. Like, for example, you would receive a call from the client telling you that, yeah, I'll be in Switzerland in 2 days. I need 7 housekeepers, I need 3 butlers, and 5 spa therapists, something like that. So, in 2 days, we have to source the candidates, make sure they're well trained, do the background checks, etc., get them ready so that they could go and start work. And 2 days to do all of this, it's almost impossible, but we always could do it because our network is not only for the clients, but also we have a big network of candidates and personnel that we worked for the last like 13 years. So here is to say that we never say no, and we try to accommodate always as much as we can.
So you are providing housekeeping, butler services, like just like human resource management to your clients as well. So like, how do you select and train staff for elite people? Like, there any parameters?
First of all, choosing the employees according to their past experiences and skills is very important, but it's not the most important aspect that we have to look on it. And working with private clients on a personal level makes things a little bit more complicated because you are in their personal space, in their intimate space where there are children, where there is no filters, like when the client come back home, they're just at home. So, there is no filters, whether professional or other. And what we need to analyze is the if you want, the mentality, the attitude, the social skills of the employee. So one employee that has an amazing experience and skills in a certain job isn't necessarily a good fit for a certain family that have a certain culture, a certain atmosphere in the house, and way of doing things. So this is something that we do very, very extensively, if you want, that allow us to provide this, if you want, ease of mind to the client, and then this will keep us for a long term with them. So they really appreciate this, and they consider that this is the real quality, and not only looking on the CV of what this employee brings.
You guys are especially focusing on GCC over Europe. Like any specific reason behind it?
Well, Monaco, as the other, if you want, very financial centers in the world, like for example Zurich and Dubai, it's a center, or a hub of families and family offices that somehow reside in this place for different reasons. And targeting these regions is for us is it narrows a little bit the channel of marketing and reach, because it's more concentrated with the client target that we need. And it's the same thing in Dubai.
Southeast Asia region is emerging market for many people, right? And many people are saying this, that in upcoming years people will going to invest a huge amount in this particular region as well. What are some common misconceptions luxury brands have regarding to this region, like South Asia region? I want to know from the house's mouth.
South Asia, actually, what we see here, it starts in Switzerland. These nationalities, we see them more and more coming to the country here in Switzerland and Western Europe. And we also know that if you want the geopolitical influences on this region is very important. So the power game is changing and moving maybe from certain region to these regions. So we see that there is increase in the wealth of young and even middle aged um, population. And for us, it could also be like a good experience in order to work with this part of the world, that they have the wealth, they ready to go out and discover. And most probably when they come to this part of the world in Europe, they would need um, assistance in terms of integrating in the country, finding schools for their kids, finding a house to buy or to rent. So somehow, if you want, the main trigger that let us go into this, it would be that we see that there's more and more migration to Switzerland, and also the fact that politically speaking, the economy also in that region is going significantly high.
So do let me know, what is one harsh reality of being an entrepreneur? Because many young kids, young folks, they think that they will going to be an entrepreneur and they will going to earn $1 million overnight. This is reality or not?
So for me, entrepreneurship, that maybe I learned it a little bit later than other young entrepreneurs, because I was in a different industry, in a different sector, and I had longer studies than the average business administration degree. So what I learned when I became an entrepreneur, or learned how to be an entrepreneur, that one has to be very resilient and would accept falling down many times and standing up. And it's also important to consider that the more he fails, the faster they will find success. Because if you fall or fail once, two, three, four, 5 times, then you learn 5 times. And over the years, you do this trial and error that I did in science, until you find the right strategy, or the right formula. And then regarding the balance between work and life, this is something that you also learn with time. At the beginning, probably you need more time to invest in the company, to understand and to fail and stand up again. But it's very important to set up limits in terms of working hours, holidays to be taking every certain period. This is important to put in place, because otherwise you will be exhausting yourself, losing efficiency, and somehow going in every direction. So it's very important to set limits.
Before leaving, I want to know, if you get a chance to give one advice to yourself, and you want to change that particular thing in your past, what will be the advice, and what is the one thing you want to change about yourself in the past?
I won't say what comes directly to my mind because it would be problematic. I wouldn't have studied that long. My studies were very long. I did the master and PhD for 6 years, and I have the impression that I missed a little bit on life in terms of like working with people and discovering this world of business and entrepreneurship. So I would say to myself, it's amazing you studied, but maybe you could have studied a little bit less and go more, create relationships with people, and do the business that has human contact.
Thank you so much, Mohammed, for your precious time. And I hope all the viewers will going to love the podcast. If you love the podcast, do subscribe the channel, press the bell icon. We will be going to meet you in the next podcast. Till then, keep daring, keep listening, and keep achieving your goals.